Right, I've been gifted this big box of plums. It was full from a friend the other day, so I've now got some. Take you around here. In the steam juicer. I've just put them on and I'm going to juice them up as plum juice. Why am I doing plum juice? There's been a lot of changes going on here, and I'm going to try and explain to you what's been happening, why we've been absent from YouTube. We're still meal planning, and that was this week's meal plans. We're up to here doing a buffalo pie tonight. So I've got it out sitting there defrosting. Oh, did finally get myself a new kitchen clock, so that's up there, and as you can see it is just coming up to 5:30 in the morning. Why am I up at 5:30 in the morning? Right, let me explain. Right, like I said, it's 5:30 in the morning. I've been up since 4:45 and I thought I'd get the plums on the go. So what's been happening? There's been a big upheaval here. We've now got Martin's elderly parents with us, and that all happened very suddenly the other week. His parents live in France, and they're both in their late 80s, and this year alone things have been pretty rough. They've been unwell, struggling. We were getting constant phone calls. We were getting phone calls off the neighbours who were concerned for them. His dad has had quite a lot of visits to the hospital. I'm not going to go into details of their medical situation. And things sort of just reached a point where Martin just had to up sticks and go over to France. And he brought his parents back with him. Not something we ever planned to do here. So we've got his parents with us. We're trying to get his dad's health issues addressed here in the UK. There was a bit of a language barrier in France. Even though he was getting some medical care, he was struggling to get across to the doctors because he didn't speak the language, and because he's elderly, he was struggling to get across exactly what was happening, and he didn't really understand what they were saying back. So we've got them registered with doctors here, and we've had a few trips to the hospital, etc. And things are getting sorted. And with Martin's mum, we believe has dementia. She hasn't been diagnosed. That's our next step next week. So it's very difficult handling her sometimes. And of course they're in a strange home, in a strange environment, even though they have visited here before. And it's just all very stressful for them. It's a big change in routine for us. I struggle to get anything done during the day because somebody has to be with them at all times. We haven't got safety things in issues like grab rails, etc. That is this weekend's job, is to try and get things like that done to make this house a bit safer for them. because their mobility isn't brilliant. So hence I'm up at silly clock in the morning trying to get jobs done, because it's not safe to get a lot of jobs done during the day with his parents around. And yeah, so it is just a difficult time. We've also, I mean, the past week alone, or 10 days, we have had also 4 fox attacks. We've got one chicken left, a couple of cockerels, and the fox has now started daylight attacking the ducks. So yeah, so that's all sort of taken a bit of a battering. It's also the start of growing season, so I'm struggling getting started with that. Because I've got very restricted time I can spend out in the polytunnel. I can only sort of get out there if Martin is here in the house with his parents. He has jobs to do around the place, so if he goes out, I have to stay in the house. Yeah, so it's just a lot of upheaval. Last month, what are we now, March? Last month I started, this was a big plan of mine. End of January, I inquired about having a load of oral surgery. This is strictly my choice to have. I'd got a damaged jawbone, which I've had going back to my first husband 40 years ago, and he injured me quite badly, and he injured my jawbone, which had never really got put back in place properly. Also, I lost a lot of teeth through that, and I also believe I've now got the start of osteoporosis, because my jawbone is starting to break up, and because I had that with a fracture of my cribriform plate as well. Anyway, and then of course I had the fractures in my fingers last year. So somewhere on my list is to go and get a bone density check, because it's believed I might have osteoporosis, which I suppose at my age, can't really complain. Anyway, my teeth were starting to work loose because my jawbone was crumbling away, and I've got a hole in my jawbone just here. So I made the decision, rather than keep every year having more and more dental work done, I've made the decision to have these teeth at the lower pulled. And I'm having a plate made. So it's a bit of a long process. I started at beginning of February. Where are we now? Middle of March. The process won't be finished until beginning of May, so I've still got like another 6 weeks of it to go yet, 6-7 weeks. This past week I've been in a lot of pain with my lower jawbone, and I've been back on antibiotics because an infection set into the jawbone, so that sort of delayed progress as well. Yeah, so there's just been a lot going on just lately, a lot that couldn't be helped. Well, the oral work, the dental work, I knew was going to be happening. I had planned for it to be happening now, but of course we didn't plan on having Martin's parents here as well. So yeah, so meal planning is having to work around what I think they will eat and what I know. Well, nutritionally, I'm trying to keep things high nutritionally, but also high calorie, because his dad is severely underweight. They've been struggling with their meals, etc. They were also both severely dehydrated. We've got that back in check now. So it's trying to keep meals top of the nutrition chain, but also higher in calories, so that it's best for them. What else? Yeah, so sort of trying to do all that. And what seeds I did have sown, which was literally just before his parents came here, they've taken a bit of a backseat, and I need to resow them. And of course, with the weather, we've just been battling with the weather and the mud and everything else. So this is why I'm up at this time in the morning, so I can get jobs done in the kitchen, and get things prepped for throughout the day, and just to have a bit of quiet me time. So because otherwise the rest of the day can be quite chaotic, and I'm finding it all very, very stressful to deal with at the moment, because I am in a lot of discomfort with this part of my jawbone as well. But there we are, we'll plough through and it will all come right. Our plans is to find somewhere for his parents to live, which will probably be nearby, so we can keep a constant eye on them, and then we can arrange for assistants to come in and help them as well. I'm trying to get his mum to be a little bit more involved and independent, so I've had to change things around in the kitchen. I've had to bring in an electric kettle. I hate electric kettles, hate them with a passion. We haven't had one for about 20 years, but I've had to bring in an electric kettle because she's not safe using the gas cooker or the Rayburn, the wood stove. So I've been trying to teach her how to make herself a drink and make a drink for Dad as well when they need one. Just giving that little bit more independence, and I've got a few projects in mind that I can perhaps try and involve her in. We shall see how that goes, and I'll try and do a little bit of videoing and of that. Yeah, so that's basically why, once again, I've been absent, because things have just gone a bit pear-shaped here. Good news is, though, all my kitchen floor is now down, which is brilliant, because we've now got an even surface, which makes it very safe for his parents, and we've got that going out to the boot room as well, so we've got a nice level surface. If they'd have been here before we got that done, it would have been a real danger for them. But of course, the biggest issue we've got is their bedroom is upstairs. We don't have space down here to put a bedroom in. And of course the bathroom is upstairs. So this weekend Martin has got to try and fix up a toilet downstairs quickly, so we're not going to get the floor tiled in there or the decorating done or the shower put in. It is just get a toilet in, so there's less trips being made upstairs. Yeah, it's just, this is life. This, you know, it's not what we planned. It's not what we hoped for. We gave them the opportunity 2 years ago to come back to the UK when they first started talking about it. They turned down the offer we made to them. And here we are 2 years later in this situation where we've had to take control of things because, you know, of what was going on. So at some point, another trip's got to be, or several trips got to be made over to France to pack up their belongings and get them brought over here and sell off belongings over there, and their house over there has got to be sold as well. So the blessing is they're not early risers. They're not up till about 9 o'clock in the morning, so I have about 4 hours peace in the morning before they get up. And you can just see behind me here at the window, daylight is just sort of starting to break. So another few weeks and weather permitting of course, and I can get out there and potter around with little bits in the garden before they get up. So I'm trying to get most of my chores done first thing in the morning, and so which frees me up during the day to just potter around in the house and be on hand for them. yeah, we're just, yeah, it's all a struggle for us at the moment, because it's such a busy time on the small holding, and we just can't really get stuck into doing anything. So I don't know what's going to happen at the moment. We shall keep it up. Anyway, I've got a little bit of a video here just to show you the mud we've been dealing with, and so enjoy that. And I'm going to try and get some little bits and pieces of videos done this week of what is sort of happening, or what I can get done. I'm going to attempt to involve his mum in sowing some seeds. I'm going to bring some seed trays in filled with compost, and sit her down at the table with some seeds and see if she can manage to do that. It might occupy her for an hour. We shall see. But anyway, I did think I might try and get that done today. But I need to get out and get a little bit of shopping as well. They do need a few bits of groceries, stuff that they like. I don't expect them to change their palette completely over to ours. Anyway, here is my videos of mud and rain damage around the small holding. So enjoy it. Here we are at Stickletown Small Holding, and here is the mud and the ponds that we have popping up all over the place. There's been a lot of surface water, a lot of damage to the surfaces. When we're out in the vehicles, we're trying to keep to the same tracks to reduce damage. It's been an awful winter, an awfully wet winter. We've never known anything like it, neither have the locals. And the tree roots are now starting to get exposed as well. The soil is just getting washed away, and in some areas we're actually down to rock bed. It's going to take a long time for the land to recover from this, but we don't have an option but to drive over with haylage for the buffalo. It can't be physically taken over by hand, and we've still got our tractor stuck in the mud as well. Some areas the water is nearly to the top of my wellies. We're starting to come into a bit of dry weather now, so which is great. We get a few days of dry and then we get the rain again. Anyway, I'm going to wind up my video here, so thank you very much for watching and joining us on our little muddy small holding tour, and I hope the rest of you, especially in the UK, are recovering from the mud as well.